Good evening. I hope you have all had a decent weekend. I thought I would start out tonight by saying that one of the most important things that I have ever learned in life came from a movie. Came from the movie Tropic Thunder. And that simple bit of advice is to never go full retard. And I'm starting to see that. I am starting to see that out there. Wow, especially with some of these YouTube channels. Man, are people losing their minds. There's one today, and I am going to point it out because this is how stupid people are. And a particular channel, and you'll be able to figure it out in about 2 seconds, started coming out, and the video they did, they were talking about, he was talking about, I guess, the liberals doxing people. And I found that very hypocritical, considering that, they doxed me and had their little fun behind the closed doors, right? But that was okay. But, yeah, interesting. Anyway, he's more or less daring people. And I'm just saying, that's full retard. Absolutely. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just advice to folks out there that don't know better, especially folks that, I don't know, might be around the boomer years or something. Yeah, don't mess with these young people, because they have the ability to do things virtually that you probably don't understand. And if you dare people to dox you, I guarantee you're going to get doxed. Guarantee it. Promise. It's probably a stupid thing to do. But nonetheless, folks, I don't know what's going on in people's minds, and I'm being serious with this. I don't know what's going on in people's minds, but we might want to you constantly hear about readjusting your OODA loop. Well, we might want to readjust our OODA loop, because right now, being as divisive of a person as you can is probably pretty ignorant. I have long said this, and I stand behind it, that I believe in the words of the Bible when it says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. That covers a lot more than just the answers yes and no. That goes way beyond that. And I'll tell you what, it has more than anything to do with let your actions meet your words. And that is probably a better all-encompassing way of saying that. And I'll tell you what, I really do think there are some folks that have themselves convinced that they have a big upper hand in all of this, and I honestly don't think they have any idea what's coming. I think a lot of them I think it's a play area. I think the whole prepping thing is a play area for a lot of people. I really do. I don't think that nearly the amount of people are as serious about it as what they claim. And you can usually tell that just simply by how a person is going about it, how they're asking questions, what type of things they're buying, stuff like that. You know whether or not they're trying to impress people or whether or not they're just trying to get ready for themselves. And I'm telling you, I put that video out earlier today, and I just cannot see. My brain is weird how it works, when it, how it works with numbers, how it works with theories and stuff like that. It's just weird. And I've learned to deal with it. 50 years, I've learned to deal with it. And I can oftentimes come up just out of the blue with pretty clear estimates on stuff like this. I don't know how, but I do. I'm telling you, I don't think the American people's got 2 more months in them. And I'm talking about in our personal everyday lives. I'm talking about paying our everyday bills and stuff like that. I don't think that the American people have another 2 months in them. I am amazed at the resilience that the American people have had thus far. And I commend them. I commend them. And that's all of them. I don't care if you're right, you're left. I don't care where you stand. If you've been able to go through the past few years and make it without sinking yourself, you got my thumbs up. There are a lot of folks that haven't been able to do that. A lot of folks, and a lot of good folks. I'm not talking about irresponsible people that aren't responsible with their money or anything. No. No, we're talking about good people that unfortunately were put in bad positions. And there's a whole lot. There's millions of them. Millions of them. Which brings up the second point about all this judgmental crap. There's a lot of people that are going to be newly homeless. And unfortunately, we have an extremely judgmental society. And it's going to make it all that much harder to... This is a group thing. This is a group effort. If we want this nation to be able to take as less damage as possible throughout what is coming, undoubtedly coming right at us, then we damn well better learn how to knock it off and at least work with one another to an extent. I've long said, and I was going to say this earlier, and I've long said, and I still stand behind it, that if you're one of those people that you want to be judgmental or discriminatory against somebody for their race, religion, or whatever, then you do this one thing. If you're ever in a position that you need help, and that type, whether it's that type of religion, that race, that whatever, and that person is the one, refuse that help. I don't care if your life depends on it. I don't care if it's the heart surgeon standing over you to save your life. If you can't respect that Muslim today, then you lie in that bed. You lie in that bed. This is becoming unbelievable. It truly is. And it's frustrating. Because you get these jackasses that figure out how to turn on a camera. And unfortunately, the society, the reality TV world society we live in, that everybody thinks that not only is their opinion the most important, but that they are entitled to have everybody hear it. And they may tell you that's not their attitude. But yeah. All you have to do is pay attention. That's all you got to do. Let me give another example, just so people know that I'm not way out there. You hear these channels always talking about, how to do this, how to do that, and all that. And then when it comes to talking about other people, outsiders, let me clarify, outsiders, how do these people act? No, mine, get away. That's how they act. Now, I'm not saying that you should just open up your pantry and your food storage and say, hey, have at it. Not at all. I am not saying that. What I am saying is maybe it's not a good idea to get on the World Wide Web and talk about how stingy you're going to be, because that's probably going to have the exact opposite effect that you intended it to. Be careful, folks, because people are watching. That is one thing he said on his video. People are watching. That is correct. People are watching. I have no problem admitting that I'm the oddball. No problem at all. If somebody wants to roll up in front of my crib right now, pop me in the head. If it's God's will, it's God's will. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to invite it. I'm not saying I'm just going to sit here and let them do it. What I'm saying is that I've already accepted whatever my fate may be. I am just so done that whenever it comes as a blessing, it's not a bad thing. I never in my life thought I would ever accept the idea of death. That in itself just blows my own mind, because I don't deal with death very well. I never have. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not doing well. And I'm getting worse. And I don't like to talk about myself. I don't like to talk about my issues, because that's not what this is about. But I'm not well. And there are certain things that are concerning to me when it comes to my, we'll say, longevity. And I've accepted it. So if that's what somebody wants to do, or, if Post Balloon goes up, somebody wants to come and shoot me and take what little we have, gotta deal with them. I get to go home. So it's not a loss for me. I'm an oddball. So you probably shouldn't ought to take my viewpoints when it comes to that stuff and applying them to other people. I have just seen over the weekend, over my days off, and, catching videos here and there people are putting out. Man, people are flipping out. These channels are flipping out. And a lot of them are truly showing their true colors. Make sure your eyes are open to see it. That's all I'm saying. Make sure your eyes are open, because they're showing it. There's a few of them that over the past few days have truly shown their colors. And folks need to take a look at that and ask them, is that who you would like for a neighbor? Well, if it's not who you would like for a neighbor, then why would you want him as a mentor? Now, I know there's a lot of good people out there, and I know there's probably a hell of a lot of good prepper YouTube channels out there that I've never ever heard of. But I can tell you that I only know of one prepper channel. One. And I know there's more, so I'm just saying, I only know of one. And my field of vision is kind of narrow, because I'm not looking for new content. I'm not looking for new YouTube channels. I'm good. I've had enough. Southern Prepper 1. He is the only one that I've seen that has even tried to approach this humanely and realistically. The only one. The only one. All of the others are nothing but me. And I'm not saying that I would expect people to open their pantry and their food storage to the world. That's no. But there's a difference in just quietly doing what you need to do, and a difference between getting out here on the World Wide Web. Because I'm telling you, it's probably time people really take stock of the things that they're saying. Probably a good idea. I watched that, and it wasn't the only one There were a number of videos from a number of creators over the past few days that were ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. That's why I always say, you gotta have your mental in check, man. Number one, spiritual preparedness. Number two is mental preparedness. You have to have that in check, because you will have people, and I think that's what we're witnessing. You will have people get on, and you will have them make it sound, it's all about appearances, right? That's much of our society. The truth doesn't matter. It only matters what it appears like. And so that's what a lot of it is. A lot of them want to give you this appearance and that appearance and all of that. And I'm telling you, a lot of them are hollow, empty suits. Why? Well, competent people know better. And the only way in life you get competent is experience. And it's one thing if you spent your life doing one thing your entire life. If you picked a career out of high school, did one thing your entire life, that's one thing. I'm not that guy. I couldn't be that guy. I can't sit there and do one thing for a very long period of time. I get bored with it. I can't do it. No. I have to always be moving forward. I always have to be learning something new. And so I went from field to field to field. I've done everything from pest control, which wasn't necessarily a chosen career, or a chosen job. It just was, but I did it. I've done everything from pest control to hydraulics mechanics to, you guys know I do computer stuff, whether it be working with software, whether it be actually building, putting together the hardware, stuff like that. Bounced from thing, and I've done this my entire life. I used to be a car guy. I used to be a big car guy. I used to be big into music. I've done a lot in my 50 years on this ball of dirt. A whole lot. And I don't mean a whole lot. I mean a whole lot of various just off-the-wall things. Who in the hell would be so interested in electrical theory, in we'll say the theory of combustion engine, and psychology, and storm chasing, and I'm just a weirdo. I admit it, I'm a weirdo. I won't deny that one. But because of that lifestyle, I have learned a lot about a lot of different things. And I don't know everything, but it gives you a good rounded, base to work from. And typically, somebody that's had a lot of experience doing a lot of different things can pretty easily call out bullshit when they see it. And when I've came out and I've had these talks and I've talked about these other channels and stuff, this isn't climb up the mountain, claw yourself to the top thing. I am concerned that people are going to be led down the wrong path by following these people. It's one thing if you just take their advice on prepping, but they're not doing that so much anymore. It's more about their opinion about this event or that event or this. And yeah, they're leading people down some bad paths. They really are. Look, let me give you an example. If somebody has you all fired up over liberals, to the point to where you yourself can't stand liberals, and you can't even say it without going liberals, right? And so then let's say the balloon goes up, and let's say that half your neighbors are liberals. Now what? Time to grow up. This whole high school mentality, football game, red team, blue team stuff. Within a couple of months, most of this nation could be facing starvation. Millions of people could be lost in the coming months. Not saying this to fearmonger. I'm saying this to be real. And it's probably a good time that we mature beyond high school mentality and at least learn how to have conversations with one another without calling them names. It's funny how the right wants to say, oh, well, they have no arguments, that's why they always get violent, that's why the right does the same thing. Not necessarily get violent, but they have nothing but nicknames and boxes to put others in. It's no different. And it's stupid. Because our government's not even the ones calling the shots. Why do people sit there and make a left-right argument when it's not about the left and the right? It's about the global interests that are actually calling the shots. And yet, we won't spend time hardly on them. Why? Well, because we're dumb enough to fall for the media manipulation, so we're going to do the red team, blue team, high school stupidity bullshit. Yeah, that's literally the level of it. It is what it is. I didn't do it. I just observed it. I'm just relaying it. We better figure it out. You know, one of the things he talked about in that video, and I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say the video, but he talked about a community page from where he's from. I laughed. I thought, man, you're just dumb, dumb, dumb. I'd be shocked if that video isn't already in that community group. I didn't do it, and I'm not going to do it. But that was dumb. I started a community group for our community. And I started it on the basis that people weren't going to be silenced. I started on the basis that I don't care if you're right, left, in the middle, or whatever. As long as you're there and you're trying your best to be civil with one another, nobody's threatening one another, whatever, you're fine, you're safe. You're not going to get kicked for any opinion that you might have, regardless of how much I differ from it. Nation's got control problems. Serious control problems. We had 2 town pages already. They were already there. There was one that catered to the left and one that catered to the right. I quickly got banned out of the one catering to the right, which is funny because I'm probably way more conservative than I am liberal. But I got banned simply for telling the truth, simply for explaining to someone that Trump didn't personally care about them. That Trump don't care. He's not going to come to your house and he doesn't care. Trump cares about Trump. They couldn't handle that fact and I got banned. And then, well, the leftist group, they banned me the moment that I opened up my group. I automatically just got banned, I don't know. That's the mentality we're dealing with in society. And it is pretty rare to find somebody that holds that middle ground and opens the door up for both sides to speak. We probably could use a lot more of that in this society because things are probably going to get ugly otherwise. You know, there's just so much ego and bullshit. It's unbelievable. All I'm asking, be a little more realistic, folks. Damn. Blows my mind how much somebody has slapped God in the face and sit there and act like they're appeasing him. Blows my mind. Anyway, I really didn't, that was kind of what I had to talk about. I didn't bring up any articles, tabs, or any. In fact, I just scrolled through where I need to start the headlines while I was first talking there. So, yeah, I'm a little bit disorganized this evening. But I don't know, man. I really don't know how this nation's going to fare. And it doesn't have anything to do with resources. It doesn't have anything to do with skills. It doesn't have anything to do with manpower or woman power. But it has everything to do with attitudes. And I've been accused, and rightfully so, of having a shitty attitude. And I do. Absolutely. I've got a shitty attitude. I know it. I'm aware of it. It's there for a reason. I put my shitty attitude there. On purpose. Why? Mike used to be the guy that got walked over all the time. Mike used to be the pacifist. Mike died. Now you got me. I got tired of it. I got tired of being the guy that tried to do the right thing regardless. And so I started fighting back. So if anybody wonders why I got that chip, why I got that edge, why I am rough around the edges, because I got tired of being kicked. And it's time for me to kick some ass. That might be why. I am not a modest person, never been a modest person, don't want to be a modest person. I am as much in favor of peace as one can be. But I also do believe that usually peace is only had because of one is capable of great violence. That's true. That is a very true thing. But I prefer peace. Ready for war? Absolutely. In fact, parts of me look forward to war. I'm going to be real honest with you. Probably got some unresolved issues that, But I'd prefer peace. I would prefer that myself and the community here, whoever it is in that community, whether it's liberals, whether it's conservatives, whether it's Muslims, whether it's Catholics, whether it's Latter-day Saints, doesn't matter. And it shouldn't matter. Now, I think there are lines that we need to put our foot down on when it comes to this whole school book trans reading crap that's going on. Yeah, that goes far beyond the line. But as far as somebody wants to play dress up and act like they're the opposite sex, I don't own them. But you're not going to tell my kids that that's normal. I'll be damned to that. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to treat you like a human being. Now, I'm not going to play your pronoun game, and I'm not going to play no bullshit about how all of a sudden you're magically some 52nd gender. I'm not going to play those games. We're going to deal with reality if we're dealing with me here. We're not going to play games. We're not going to make shit up. But as long as you don't try playing those games with me, I'll have the ultimate respect for you. Just the way it is. Man, we all have individual lives with individual experiences that make us our individual selves. And while we were lied to and we were told we were all special little snowflakes, we still are indeed individuals. No doubt. No doubt. And I would not have what, and I'm not saying I've got a bunch of richness, but I would not have the richness that I do today. And when I say richness, I'm not talking about monetary. I'm talking about spiritually. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about culturally. If I didn't experience other people, I would not want to live in a world of people just like me. That would suck. I'm an ass. But for some reason, we got people in this world that think that everybody needs to be under their thumb and do exactly everything they say, just how they say it and when. I don't think a lot of folks have even remotely a clue of what we're looking at. And I don't think there are that many preppers out there that are that truly prepared on a level to where they could close themselves off to the rest of the world and be fine for years. Now, there are a couple, no doubt. I mean, more than a couple. But I mean, like those that we see on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, there's a couple. But the majority of them, not even remotely. Us, no. I don't think we could hit 6 months. I don't think we have enough food and supplies to make 6 months. 4, I feel confident about. 5, probably, if we're careful. I don't think we'd squeeze out number 6. And I have a feeling that a large quantity of preppers are pretty much in the same boat. Probably the majority of you. So it's pretty safe to say at a pretty quick point in time after the balloon goes up, we're going to at some point have to start working with other individuals in order to start producing food so we don't starve to death on month 7. That working together, that coordination, needs to start happening the moment the dust settles. The moment the dust settles. It's got to start. Wait until the dust settles. Don't try to start doing it before. But be prepared for it. Mentally, materially, be prepared for it. Be ready to take action. The moment the dust settles, emerge and say, hey, let's get together, let's get teams together, let's get this stuff underway, let's get, start getting stuff going. How in the hell can communities do that if so many people are busy putting each other in a box and trying to find reasons to condemn them and write them off as worthless? A lot of good information in that user manual for people, aka the Bible. I think some folks need to read it again. Or probably, to be real honest, probably the first time. Because I've met a ton of people and had theological debates with them, and they'll claim to the end of time about how much they know the Bible, how many times they've read it, and you find out they've never even read it. They've gone to church and let somebody tell them what it says, but they've never read it. Pretty easy to tell those who read the Bible and those that let other people tell them what's in the Bible. You can simply look at holidays and tell that one. But I digress. We're not going to go down that road. I want Jimmy John's. Damn it. It's bullshit. They should have bought me Jimmy John's. Why didn't they buy me Jimmy John's? They clearly see me working here. Could use a sandwich, man. I'm kidding. Looking out the window, there's a Jimmy John's car delivering something over there, about a half a block away. I'm just being an idiot. But it does sound good. God, I love Jimmy John's. They got some good stuff. Anyway, that's kind of off topic. Anyway, I really, like I say, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I didn't have anything. In fact, I was sitting here trying to think, what in the hell am I going to do on the show? What am I going to title it? I had no idea. And when I have no idea, it usually goes to the stupid direction, So I just thought I'd have fun with the show's title tonight. And, but I mean, I feel like I had a pretty serious topic to talk about. But yeah, dude, homie. Nah, I'm not going to call you homie. Not only you wouldn't like it, but, dude, you're totally not my homie. Yeah, we wouldn't work out so well in the same room past about 2 seconds. My dad could tell you why. Anyway, it's dumb. Don't tempt people to do that kind of stuff to you. It would literally take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Boomers better brush up on technology. Because these kids can do some pretty incredible stuff in some pretty amazing time. Just saying. Other than that, don't know of any real big updates that I can think of. I started to make another video for you guys, and then, man, it got hot. I mean, bad hot. I was out there, and I just couldn't do it no more. In fact, I had problems when I came back in. I let myself get too hot. Anyway, what I was doing is I got frustrated, to be real honest. Because what I wanted to do was take that 60-watt panel out there, take a rigid panel out there and stuff like that, and show you the different efficiencies. Show you that, you can get more bang for your buck out of the rigid panel. I know I've kind of beat that horse into the ground, that dead horse into the ground, but folks still aren't getting it, right? Either that or they're choosing not to get it because they want to look tactical. But and I think that's a lot of it. But anyway, I was going to do that just so folks knew. And I actually got frustrated because I was sitting there trying to get the that 60-watt panel. I know damn well the other day I saw it say 50 watts. I know I seen it hit 50 watts. 43 was the most. And I sat there and played for probably 20 minutes with that panel trying to get it just right to see that 50 watts again. And I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. 43 watts was the most I could get out of it. So, but anyway... then what I did is I grabbed out one of the 100-watt panels and I hooked it up and was showing that. And then I grabbed a second panel so that we could meet the 200-watt limit of the EcoFlow River. And so I could show you guys what the difference was between charging with two 100-watt rigid panels and their little gimmick panel. And, no. Yeah, I got the other panel out there. I got it all set up. And just about where I could start shooting the very last clip that I needed for the entire video. And I had to call it. I mean, I had to call it. I had to come right in, cool off, get myself together, and then go out and start bringing stuff in. Because COPD, man, that stuff's no fun. It's no fun at all. At all. Anyway, so I came back in and I didn't get that last clip. So I will do a video like that, and I'll have to start fresh though, because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that on different days because that's just hokey. So I'll do it again. I'm probably going to wait. I don't know. Let me take a peek here. I don't know what we're looking at for a forecast because I don't do time, man. Oh yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Well, it's going to be beyond a week, I can tell you that. Because, yeah, we're looking to go to hell. 94, 96, 92, 98, 100, 100. Yeah, that's what our forecast looks like. So, it'll be a little longer than a week at least before I get to that. So, I seriously don't want to put myself at risk. And I probably would be putting myself at risk. So, again, like I said, and I'm not looking for pity. I'm not nothing, but I'm not well. Physically, I'm in some pretty bad shape. So, I better be a little more mindful when I do things like that. I'm part of the reason why I'm in the shape that I am in is because I'm one of those people that overdid everything. I'm a little guy. I've always been a scrawny guy, and I would try to keep up with the biggest guy, and many times could pretty well do it. And unfortunately, that takes, some people, they can do that stuff their entire life, and they're good. They just seem to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and not me. It tore me up. So it is what it is. Part of it was from work, and another part of it was just from stupid life choices, like my COPD. Much of that is from smoking, but I did have an injury. I burned my lungs. I had a chemical burn to my lungs, so I'm sure that didn't help. Once the COPD started to come along, I'm sure that didn't help. And then, I don't know, about 9-10 years ago or whatever, I was working out at the airfield, getting it cleaned up for a fly-in we were going to have. And I was out there weed eating and doing stuff like that. It's an airfield. There's no trees, right? So you're in the sun. And so the heat got me. First time in my entire life that the heat ever got me. And it got me pretty good. And ever since then, I can't do heat. I just can't. It's messed up. But anyway, let me move on from that, and we'll do some headlines, and we'll sneak out the back door. Let's see. I gotta have a drink of coffee, though. I'm actually still on cup 1. I probably won't drink cup 2, but I'm on cup 1 because I started coffee late. I fail today. Horribly fail. Anyway, glasses might be nice. Hear that, or adjust the font up a couple thousand points. No, my eyes aren't that bad, but let's see. Support dwindling for Biden re-election bid, a poll shows. Oh, by the way, Friday. You guys should know the drill by now. This is the Friday headlines that I put out. I'll let you know when we get to Saturday, if I don't miss it. Amazon gave Ring videos to police without consent. Don't you guys love the professionality of this show? Is that even a word, professionality? You don't know? Or did you say no? Huh? No. Thumbs down. Not a word. It is now. Call Webster's. Anyway, nah, I don't give a damn. You're here, I hope, for the information, because I sure in the hell don't give you a show. Let's see. Los Angeles prepares to revive mask mandate. Where did I get gas masks from? I have no idea. Canada greenlights Moderna jab for infants. Moody's weighs in on Germany's energy plan. Italy reduces dependence on Russian gas, says Bloomberg. India reports first case of monkeypox. Baltic state passes Russian gas law. Russia has price cap busting oil plan, says the media. Top Russian rapper eyes Starbucks buyout. Why not, yo? Make up a mixtape. What? I can't get jiggy with it? Never lets me have any fun in my hizzy. Russia sanctions killing EU economy, says Orban. Yeah, mayonnaise. That's her nickname for me, mayonnaise. For a good reason. UK national dies in DPR captivity. Russia comments on deadly strike on Ukrainian city. Record U.S. defense spending approved. Somebody brought up a good point. Oh, I already said it in that video earlier today. I'll say it again. Why not? Somebody brought up a good point. That how come, because of the COVID pandemic and people needing help to be able to get by and all that, we have this just insane, like, record-breaking inflation, yet they can just like write blank checks pretty much to they can pretty much just write blank checks to military industrial complex, Pentagon, those yo-yos, and no inflation, nothing. We don't ever hear, and I mean they just spend billion after billion after billion until they get into trillions, and we don't see inflation from that. So how come when they spend a measly amount to help us, and I do mean measly amount, then how come we have all this record inflation? I would imagine we weren't trying to start World War III. Might be able to save a few more bucks. That's just thinking. Record U.S. I already talked about that. Don't start me again on it. Oh, kidding. EU set to unveil new anti-Russia sanctions, says Reuters. U.S. Embassy in Kiev issues security alert. Russia outlines economic priorities. A reason for delay in EU aid to Ukraine revealed by the media. Hungary has military plans for Ukraine, says the minister. North Korea responds to Ukraine's criticism. Brussels comments on Ukraine weapons smuggling allegations. A Russian defense industry chief reassigned to head space agency. Russian oil price cap won't solve energy crisis, says Indonesian FM. Not AM, FM. Let's see. Award-winning LGBT activist charged with child pornography. Surprise, surprise. Poland buys used U.S. tanks after Germany's snub. Russia labels Bellingcat undesirable. France told to turn off the lights. Yeah, don't you love what their government, just turn off your lights, turn off your heat, turn off your cooling, just, unplug your fridge. You don't need any of that. It's crazy. UK issues first ever heat emergency. Boris Johnson takes revenge on Rishi Sunak, says the Times. I have no idea what that's about. EU Commission sues Hungary over LGBT law. U.S. Secret Service denies Capitol riot accusations. Sorry, my neck is killing me. Biden comments on vacuum in the Middle East. UK blames Russia for mercenaries' death. Disposable vapes filling landfills with precious metals as an investigation. I love that hit piece on vaping. I thought that was insanity. Insanity. I mean, there's probably way more precious metal and damaging products in the landfills via cell phones that have been thrown away versus, disposable e-cigs. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we should probably look at this and do something. I don't think we should be throwing lithium batteries into landfills. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But that's not what they're trying to do either. They're just trying to make another hit piece on vaping. Ukraine gets its first U.S.-made M270 missile system. Not for long. Acquitted suspect of Air India bombing shot dead. German officer convicted of plotting to kill politicians. Tucker Carlson slams corrupt Ukraine. Polish city dedicates square to Ukraine. Well, glad they didn't choose the circle. Ex-White House doctor makes Biden prediction. What, he's going to fall off his bike? Too late. NASA and Roscosmos agree on spaceflight seat sharing. Sharing. So there's not going to be two seats. They're literally going to share one seat. But what I want to know is, do they have to share the bag of peanuts, or does just one of them automatically get it? Just asking. Saudi Arabia opens airspace to Israeli airlines. Trump voters favor secession for their state, says a poll. Well, yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with Trump, though. It has to do with common sense. Biden claims he pressed Saudi leader on journalist murder. Hey, we're to Saturday. That means I can have a drink of coffee. You know, you have to make your goals attainable. Yeah, I'm not right. You guys should have known that for years now. But the difference is I'm not trying to be right. I want to be funky. Makes life interesting. Alright, let's see. Saturday's news. Rockets fired from Gaza soon after a Biden visit. That was actually Friday's news, but I shared it out Saturday morning. Lawmakers subpoena Secret Service for January 6 texts. Germany's public debt spending set to double, says the media. Hungary probed over fuel subsidies. China's economy shrinks on lingering COVID-19 woes. Russia's defense minister pays surprise visit to Ukraine. Ukrainian mortar shells hit Russian region, says the governor. UK approves windfall tax on oil and gas industry. Ukraine accuses top Western banks of war crimes. WTO, IMF, and World Bank call for trade restrictions to be lifted. European inflation forecast raised. Caribbean nation lambasts developed countries over monkeypox vaccine. Sorry, I got a bunch of blingings going on. I don't have my watch on, and I hadn't even put it on today. Some days I forget to put it on. Let's see. Russia, and it's odd because when my charger was broke, I was going nuts. Isn't that odd? But I'm that way, right? I've got a guitar sitting right there. I never play the damn thing, and I can't play for any length of time anymore anyway, because I got like arthritis pretty bad and stuff. But it's there, and I can pick it up anytime I want. And I never pick it up. But you take it away, and I'll be like, I wished I had a guitar. I don't know. Let's see. Russia requests documents on Nord Stream turbine return. Tokyo urges Japanese firms to keep shares in Russian LNG project, says the media. Started to say product. I don't know why. Italy points finger at Russia over government crisis. Italy may soon be unable to arm Ukraine, says foreign minister. Pardon me. Saudi Arabia outlines what it will do for oil output. I want to know is what it'll do for a Klondike bar. Lawsuit claims Skittles contain toxin and are unsafe to eat. That's a fact. Titanium dioxide. And I actually looked into this a little bit, and it's not a good thing for us to be intaking. And it's in apparently a whole lot of foods. They use it as a white pigment. That's what they use it for. So foods that have to be like dyed white, more or less, that's what they use commonly. And it's not good. In fact, it's like many other things. Some other countries, you can't use it at all. You know, some countries have very, very strict limits. The U.S. isn't going to give it to them. I mean, they got limits here, but it's like way more than what it should be. And that's the way that the FDA, by the way, the FDA and the EPA, that's the way they work, right? Depending on who and where the problem is, they may just wind up raising the acceptable levels. They do that a lot. Like, look at the lead levels. They have, over the years, consistently raised the acceptable lead levels in your drinking water. It's crazy. Saudis point to the U.S. own mistakes as Khashoggi killing raised. Woman accused of trafficking Farah willing to talk to police. Not sure. Oh, apparently it was a sports link that I shared. My apologies. I normally try not to share sports links, and that's probably why it threw me, because I have no freaking clue what they're talking about. Iran issues warning to U.S. and Israel. U.S. approves arms deal with Taiwan. Media sees clue Tucker Carlson. Oh, will run for U.S. president. For some reason, I thought it wasn't reading out right. Entire police force resigns in a small Colorado town. Now, supposedly, this just is a matter of a bunch of bad timing. So it may be, who knows, but I guess the chief was going to retire, and that had already been, a planned thing. And I think the two, we're not talking about a huge force here of 100 people. The two officers, I think, took better job offers or something like that, so it kind of left them with nobody. I guess literally that must have been the police force, was two officers and the chief. And so anyway, the county's got to take over for now. Until they get that dealt with. So it's not because of defunding the police. It's not because of all that stuff that red team will be. Oh! Nah, just bad timing. Kiev wants to strike Crimea with U.S. supplied missiles. U.S. is priority of every Middle East country, says the White House. And we are on today's news. Time for coffee. Huh. Fun times. Alright. We're on the home stretch. Let's do this last day and get the heck out of here. Europe becomes top U.S. oil consumer, says Bloomberg. Recession risk warning issued for top Western economies. Era of Western dominance ending, says Tony Blair. Russian fuel is flooding the Middle East, says Bloomberg. Rebranded McDonald's faces key ingredient shortage. Yeah, like French fries. Yeah, that's what they're missing. And by the way, when I say rebranded McDonald's, that's the new Russian McDonald's, the whatever company, what they called, I don't know what they called it, but yeah. COVID-19 mask to return, German minister says. I'm hearing people in the U.S. starting to say that now, too. Germany won't survive winter without Russian gas, says official. And apparently, I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, but apparently, COVID is really hitting the U.S. pretty hard right now. So I don't think it's anything, you know what I mean? But there are a lot of people hospitalized with it. There are a lot of people, I mean, it's, they're trying to fear-monger it like they have been the entire time. It's much more dangerous. And I'm sure they're probably basing that on the fact that it's probably more communicable, but probably less damaging, because that's the way viruses mutate. And, they just can't let go. That has been their go-to to get their way for almost 3 years now. Contents of Shinzo Abe's suspected assassin's letter is revealed, says the media. Did I say Germany won't survive with winter without Russian gas, says an official? I don't know if I said that or not, but that's kind of an important headline. Italian budget airlines staff go on strike. Russia should demilitarize whole of Ukraine, senator says, after more Crimea threats. IMF to substantially cut global growth outlook, says Bloomberg. Ukraine threatened with crushing blow. Study reveals how COVID-19 vaccines affect periods. But no news yet on what it does to exclamation marks. So, EU prepares gas emergency plan, says the media. Western arms stockpiles won't sustain prolonged war in Ukraine, says the Pentagon. Mars sued over toxin and world-famous candy. Oh, and that was the same that I had already told you about, the Skittles with the... Yeah, RT put it out too. Ukrainian plane loaded with mines crashes in Greece. Now that would really suck. It's bad enough to be in a plane crash, but in a plane crash with a bunch of explosive devices, that would suck even more. Let's see. Next UK PM must know biggest threat is Russia, says military chief. Iran says it's capable of building nuclear bomb. A senior Russian official warns of Judgment Day. And by the way, that Iran thing does seem to be picking up a little bit. It's definitely got me watching. U.S. fueling tension in Middle East using Iranophobia, says the FM. Systemic... No, I'm going to read you. That's the reason I put it out twice. Because I am going to read you the first paragraph of the article. Nearly 400 law enforcement officials rushed to a mass shooting at Uvalde Elementary School, but egregiously poor decision-making resulted in more than an hour of chaos before the gunman, who took 21 lives, was finally confronted and killed, according to a damning investigative report released today. And when I see that number, 400, many of them heavily armed, there's no excuse. There is no excuse as a profession, and there is no excuse as a human. It should have not taken over an hour for someone to have the balls to say enough is enough. We're doing this. That should have took all of about 10 or 15 minutes. At that 15-minute mark, that dude should have been ready for a toe tag. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. No games. Let's stop. I know that there's a channel called A American. Not a bad channel. I like the dude. And he and it's not Angry American. This guy just happened to, have A American, right? And so anyway, he'd actually I think it was today, put out a video. It was actually pretty good, and he was talking about the Uvalde shooting, and he was talking about another channel that was talking about it. That dude made some very good points and raises a big question for myself. Now, I haven't listened to the video footage, this footage here. I just not really, I don't feel I need to. But apparently, they claim that they took out the screams from the children in the audio. Man, I'm not an audio expert, but I've toyed with this stuff long enough to know you can't clean audio up like that. It won't happen. You can't do it. You cannot clean audio up like that. You could tell it. You could, it'd be plain as day. So that raises a lot of questions and red flags for me. Now, I'm not going to say any more than that. I'm not going to take it any further than that because I can't. And I'm just being honest and realistic with you. I don't have the data, the information. I don't have what I need to be able to tell you whether this... And I don't know. I look at this with kind of the same eyes that I look at Sandy Hook with, to be real honest. A lot of glaring inconsistencies and just a lot of stuff that don't add up and just... yeah. One thing that this other channel, I can't remember, it's a big dude too. I can't remember the name of the channel, or else I'd tell you, because he did a good video. Hang on, I'm working on it. It's... yeah, if you find A American, I think he put the video out today. If not today, yesterday. But he talks about the channel. I can't remember the name of the channel. It's apparently a really popular channel. I just never heard of it before. Dude built like a brick shit house, though. And he's talking about it. And this is you can tell, a pretty tactically minded individual. And he points out some really, really key stuff. And I've got a lot of questions. I'm not going to jump and say it's a false flag, or... I've got a lot of questions. I'm not going to say it's not either. Russian anti-war live TV protester detained. Zelensky fires head of security service and prosecutor general. Pope calls for peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Oh, okay. I just happened to look up at the chat. Yeah, I mean, I like his channel. He's, I don't know. I found it because I was actually looking for Angry American's channel at the time, and I ran across his. But, yeah, he down to earth, realistic kind of guy. That's what I'm about. Zelensky explains why he fired Ukraine's top security officials. Something countries. Country was the last name. Heavy Duty Country. That is the name of the channel. Heavy Duty Country. So that's the name of the channel, the guy that put out the video. Very good video. So that's the name of it. Heavy Duty Country was the channel. Let's see. Russian oligarchs seek damages over EU... I read that one. EU asks citizens to be patient as anti-Russian sanctions bite. Just be patient. We know that, y'all can't afford your bills and all that stuff, but we've got nation building to do. I hope you understand. That's pretty much what it says to me. Anyway, I'm going to fire myself. At least for 24 hours, or, 23 or whatever. I am going to get out of here. Yeah, he put out a video. I don't know, like last couple of days or something like that. I think it was yesterday, maybe day before or something. He put out a video talking about Uvalde. And I mean, just a good video. Very well done video. Very good, solid points he makes. And it's not from, and you can tell when he's making these points, it's not coming from somebody that's looking for a conspiracy theory. He's not out there trying to dig something up. He's just pointing out what's just right there in front of everybody's faces, and that's what caught my attention. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Hope everybody has a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. So I hope everybody, like I say, has a good evening. Kind of relax. Keep keeping at it, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, we shall talk to you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.